Sierra. And of course, Ali Doma is right here, and we're here to look at the headlines with you, just analyze and understand what exactly it is that is going on in our country, Nigeria. As it should be, every single person should get involved and have a say in what exactly is going on. Were you among the people that took an extra day off work? Because we know that Friday was not stipulated for holidays, but some individuals decided to use it.
They said if the government no agree, may they go court. We should meet in court. The government, you gave us Wednesday, Thursday as public holiday, then we've added Friday for ourselves. You no agree, let's meet in court.
Anyway, the president is back in the capital city, is back in Abuja after spending 5 days in Lagos. And prior to that, he went to France, London, Lagos, and then is back in Abuja. Now finally, governance can continue. Not that it was on pause, but it can continue. People can continue lobbying. They can continue hustling for different appointment positions here and there. It's pretty interesting what happens when a new government comes into town. It's like everybody is begging and pleading and crying, looking for positions here and there. But hey, we're looking at the headlines this morning, and by 7:30, we will be joined by Mr. Rafai Hosseini to do justice to our headlines today. Okay, so we're beginning with NYSC blaming the banks for delayed coppers allowances. NYSC blames banks for delayed coppers allowances. This is from Punch newspaper. The National Youth Service Corps says commercial banks are responsible for the delay in the payment of June allowances of serving corps members across the country. The NYSC gave the explanation on Sunday in a statement posted on its official Twitter handle. It, however, said its management was working hard to ensure that the delay in payment was addressed. The statement, signed by the Director Press of the NYSC, Eddie Megwa, partly read, "For the avoidance of doubt, this completed all arrangements for the payment of corps members' allowances since June 27th, and remittances made same day to various banks accordingly. The delay being currently experienced is due to the administration of funds by various banks who are yet to credit corps members' accounts. In line with the above, the NYC management is assiduously interfacing with the banks to fast-track the payment of corps members' June allowances without further delay." This is how many days now? Let's say 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th, 1st, 2nd. Just 5 days of delay. NYSC corps members want to finish us.
They
want to finish us.
What are you saying? These people, it's not as if they have much now. Some of the thing is that wait. The thing is that some of them, their PPA don't even pay a dime. They rely wholly on the allowance they get. So you can imagine a civil servant now, after completing the full month without being paid, you know how it feels.
It's just 5-day delay. Us that were
5
in the
days,
media now.
just
Ali, wait, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Has your salary been delayed before since you joined the media space?
Yes, it has.
How many days was it delayed for?
I think 4.
Just 4 days.
Yes.
Just you are flexing. You are seriously enjoying yourself because, bruh, you see situations where people are owed salaries for months, especially within the media space, right? And you see a situation where you can't really help it. You just have to come to work because the work has to go on. But then again, that's not displacing, the discomfort the corps members are facing. It's not displacing that. It's very, very important that they're paid as at when due. It's very, very important that they do that. But should it happen that you don't get paid at the time you ought to get paid at, Mona, they calm down now. Please, calm down small.
Banks, commercial banks, go and pay coppers the alawi, pay them the alawi. Because that is the only way they get money. A lot of them, that is their only source of money. So things are very expensive in the market. Make sure you pay them their money. Please pay them their money. Coppers, I'm speaking for you. We, copper, we.
This situation of banks, right? It's been a long fight that we've been having with banks, and the effectiveness with which they handle businesses, especially with banks, especially when it has to do with small, quote unquote, small accounts. If you have a situation where there's someone with a big account, you have a big client with a multi-million naira account spread across your different bank, the different banks, right? You have a client that is a big client, big shot client. You tend to overlook or sort of downplay the value the smaller accounts are bringing to you. Yes, in the media space, it's called fuel money. Small monies that smaller businesses bring into the media space. It's called fuel money. Monies you use to run the bank, monies you use to just buy fuel for the gen and all of that. So you can't underplay the presence of these small accounts in your bank. It doesn't make any sense to underplay it. Sometimes you go to the bank and there's one banker that is just being rude because now only 30,000 you get for your account. one banker is just being rude, plain rude to you. Just because it's 30,000, she has checked. She has even opened your PV and used it to check all your other accounts, and she's seen there's only 5,000, only 2,000.
You see why they enter bankers this morning? What have they done to you?
I have to drag them because last week what was rude to me? I say,
okay, now you're talking, and now I know where you're coming from.
At this point in time, we should accord the same. We understand that you will pay extra attention. Nobody says you should not pay extra attention, but pay attention to us now. And let the poor breathe. Let the poor breathe. At this point in time,
let Bill not come and carry the poor away. Because I saw that comic stuff that you could see bill salary paid, Bill trying to strangle
the salary receiver
and let the poor breathe. The next thing I saw another picture coming to take away the bills talking about bills taking away salary, as in, because Bill has taken over everything now. What else do you have? Well, if you collect salary nowadays, especially with the current reality in this country, if you collect salary, once you do 1, 2, 3 transfer,
money don't finish.
Wait, have you ever found yourself in this situation that you were eager for salary to be paid? Immediately the salary drop, you now start thinking about your expenses. You start becoming afraid to even make the first transfer
because
once you start, it's gone.
Oh my God. Anyway, I don't know if you still have your salary intact at this point in time. If you do, well, I doff my hat to you. I doff it. Anyway, we're moving on to another headline this morning.
Yeah, this one is specifically concerns Abuja more. Abuja Estate kicks over planned demolition of 2,000 houses. This is a story that has been on the news for quite some time now after the flooding that happened at the estate 2 weeks ago. About 2,000 houses located in the Trademore area of the Federal Capital Territory might be demolished today by the Federal Capital Development Authority. The president of the Trademore Resident Association, Adewale Adenaike, in an exclusive interview with Punch newspaper correspondent, he said about 40,000 residents will be displaced if the planned demolition exercise was carried out. Adenaike, however, noted that alternative solutions could be explored, as he debunked the claim that the area where the estate is situated was an illegal settlement. He said, "We have been reliably informed that the authorities are coming today, that is today Monday, to demolish 2,000 houses and displaced over 40,000 Nigerians living in the area. They have described the place as an illegal settlement, but during the last elections, we had 3 polling units here, so they can come to collect our votes and request payment for electricity bills, but we are illegal." Another part that you should hold that really got me thinking or talking is that years ago, a section of this estate was commissioned by the former Vice President Namadi Sambo. High-ranking officers are staying in this area, and this is what the FCDA has termed as a disaster zone because they are unapproved. Where were development control, FCTA and FCDA, when all this development was taking place in an area they termed as illegal? Currently, 99% of houses in this area are financed by Federal Mortgage Bank, which is owned by the federal government, and the payments are ongoing, so they finance an illegal settlement. The FCT authorities had declared the estate located along Lugbe Airport Expressway a disaster zone following the unfortunate flooding that happened 2 weeks ago. And now we said this the other time when we were having this conversation. There is no way you could come and erect those kinds of building, those kinds of structure without going through some of the legal process. Yeah, you have to go to FCDA, FCTA, and what have you, development control, and all the necessary agencies that are saddled with the responsibility of supervising structures in the capital territory. You must have to pass through all of those agencies. And now you're coming to say this place is a disaster zone. I'm not disputing the fact that yes, it is a disaster zone based on the record they have, but where were they when all of these things started? They granted approval. A former vice president was there to commission some part of it, and most of these buildings, just like he said, 99% were financed by Federal Mortgage Bank. So, as in,
it's not possible
that to wrap my head around this thing.
Development control they weren't aware of some of the buildings. There are some estates in that area. There are private houses in that particular area. So, is it possible that FCTA, FCDA were not aware of how much disaster that place was prone to, the flooding that area was prone to? You know, Lokogoma before was an area where when it comes to flooding, you have to be very, very careful in Abuja.
Yes.
And so, measures were put in place to ensure that flooding actually stops, especially in that Galadimawa roundabout area. Measures were put in place. There was, some culvert that was constructed in that area. There were different things that the FCTA did in that particular area to ensure that flooding, because if you pass that place when it rains, it's you can't drive. You legit cannot drive, because sometimes the water gets up to your window. It's really crazy in that particular area, but now it's a lot better. Is there no other way than to demolish, make over 2,000 people homeless? 40,000 people homeless.
Buildings.
Is there no way that you can make 40,000 people? Is there no way? What's the English now? Is there no way that you can do it without making 40,000 people homeless? Is there no other way?
I think
way?
One thing that I know for sure is that we have advanced in terms of technology and development in this world. A lot of countries, desert, we see people creating dams in desert. So why can't we do something like that? I think Usman Dam was created. We could see Jabi Lake was not a natural lake. It was built. It was built. So I think there are other ways that we can redirect or rechannel that water and take it elsewhere. The world has gone global. If there are engineers that you can bring and give them that work, yes, I know it's going to cost much, but if you just oppose the cost that you're going to incur with that of destroying or demolition 2,000 buildings, and the biggest impact is that it's going to impact over 40,000 Nigerians, like directly. We're not even talking about indirectly, because there are other dependents on those 40,000 people who come there to do their businesses and whatnot. But this one directly is going to affect 40,000 people. So it's really, really huge. I don't think the demolition is the only solution this.
You know, you also have to look at the corruption that goes on within the FCDA. You have to look at the corruption, because it's one of the reasons why we're having buildings collapse. It's one of the reasons why we're having structures that are not even up to standard. Buildings that are created for commercial purposes aren't even up to the standard of what a commercial building is supposed to be like. Well, we were studying as a civil engineer, right? They will tell you commercial buildings have a certain weight that they can take. So you calculate the number of foot traffic that you're expecting in that particular building per time. You calculate it, you inflate that number, and calculate how much stress load the building can handle. There's a procedure to follow when it comes to building structure. In Nigeria, there's criteria. So it just seems as though the development control needs to wake up to their responsibilities, because at this point in time, you can't tell me that 40,000 residents have lived in that area. The banks are involved. So this is a legal. If you're talking about a legal battle here, they have all the papers.
With all of these facts, it's even a shame on the part of the government to come and term that place disaster
as illegal. You should even hide your head.
Because where were you when all of these things started? This is a typical flaws from the part of government. for them to even come out and term that place a disaster zone or illegal is really a big shame, if I should use that word. It's a big shame on the part of the government. They shouldn't even come. They should have tried to cover up all of these things and prefer solutions to this situation instead of coming out to say they will demolish 2,000 buildings. Why would you go ahead and demolish 2,000
when you're talking
buildings?
about a situation where we're having issues with electricity generation? You can't build a dam somewhere. You can't build a dam. You want to just demolish. Does it? I don't understand this issue where we're not
water
we're not
to another side.
We're not thinking wide. I don't know why we create communities. Not communities now? We create a committee.
Yeah.
Yes, that's the English. We create a committee and we ask them to bring solutions to problems. And it just seems as though what exactly that committee creates, the solutions to the problems that they bring up, is always obscure and old and very, very 80s thinking. I don't know, 70s thinking, 60s thinking like as if no, we're still back in the 70s. Now there are different ways we can handle this situation. You cannot just render 40,000 Nigerians homeless
overnight.
Where are they going to stay? Then you now talk about what's that thing where the government gives them money? Compensation. You talk about compensation, right? And it just seems as though when you compensate, is that where it ends? If you give them money now, is that where it ends?
I don't even think the issue of compensation should even come to be. The solution, I feel, is that it's either the government redirect the waterway to another side and allow these people, or they relocate these people, because compensation will not take care of everything. They will just give you a particular
40,000
amount
people.
out
How
of
much?
the total cost of your building. They should.
So you can't take
relocate
all
them,
that amount of
take
money.
them to provide another accommodation for them if you want to demolish this, or else you just allow them, because these people followed the due process. All the legal ways they should follow, they have followed. It is the lapses, the flaws on the part of the government that led to all of this thing that we are seeing today. It's quite unfortunate. I must say that it's very, very unfortunate, and the government should be ashamed of themselves for allowing this kind of things to go on. A building that followed all the procedure, a vice president of Federal Republic of Nigeria as at then came to commission some of those buildings, and today we are saying
have R of O, C of O. They have all the legal documents
financed by Federal Mortgage Bank, and you call those places illegal structures. No, we should be sincere to ourselves in this country. Please, the government should do the needful, do the right thing, so that Nigerians can breathe indeed. Yes.
All right. You can join the conversation 0700, pardon me, 0700 010 961 961, 0700 010 961 961. Let's get your thoughts on our headlines this morning. Another one here. It says Egbetokun revives police awards for outstanding cops. Egbetokun revives police awards for outstanding cops. The acting IGP, Olukayode Egbetokun, has ordered the resuscitation of the Nigeria Police Force Awards and the commendation system to appreciate personnel for good deeds. Egbetokun explained that the move was in line with Section 92 of the Police Act 2020 and Order 68 of the Force Orders and Instructions. A statement on Sunday by the Force spokesperson, Muyiwa Adejobi, quoted the IG as saying the awards and commendation system for the Nigerian Police Force was being implemented under his administration to enhance motivation and encouragement among police officers. This renewed commendation system represents a significant advancement from the past. It now covers all officers involved in every major case, moving away from solely focusing on arresting officers or commanders. The new system is in line with Section 92 of the Police Act 2020 and Order 68 of the Force Orders and Instructions. It will be a milestone in recognizing the collective efforts of all officers in upholding law and order in the nation. The statement quoted the IG to have said. He added that the reward system would end unnecessary special promotions in the service. Furthermore, the introduction of this new commendation and award system also marks a commitment to shelve unnecessary special promotions which have hitherto been ridiculous in the NPF. The new awards and commendation system will provide a fair platform for officers to be recognized and rewarded for their exceptional dedication and performance without relying solely on special promotions. The IGP envisions a renewed sense of pride and dedication among police officers, as they know their hard work and dedication will be acknowledged and celebrated appropriately. The statement added. The IG believes that the initiative would promote camaraderie, unity and teamwork within the force, saying this development emphasizes the importance of collaboration and shared responsibility in achieving the force's objectives. Adejobi said the force plans to hold an award night before the end of the year. All right, you sort of have had an inclination with the police. So what do you think about this?
Yeah, it's a good one from the IGP, even though he came and reeled out his own policies, saying he's going to revamp the police, he's going to make some changes, and he's going to review the training curriculum for the police, and also create the 40,000 special units which will be drawn from the police mobile force and also the special protection unit. And also he decided to withdraw the VIP escort and orderlies for VIPs in Nigeria, which I know this is one thing, especially that issue of withdrawal of VIP escort and all this of VIP very important people in Nigeria. This is something that we are accustomed to. Almost every IG that comes to power will say he will withdraw, or he will withdraw, but after some time you see all of those people will go back to their principles, and it's something else though. But it's positive for him, it's commendable for him to bring that back, that if you do exemplary service, you're going to be rewarded. But again, we saw a video which recently went viral where police officers in Edo Ekpoma division, to be precise, ran over and cuffed a Nigerian. He was already cuffed, but the officer used a Sienna vehicle to run over the person. I was like, no, this is quite inhuman. This is the highest level of inhumanity. There is no way a sane person would do that. So I think in terms of trying to rejig the force and also to improve the service delivery, especially relationship between the police and the citizen, they need to also be doing they should be carrying out timely psychological evaluation. Yes, they should be evaluating the psychological status of their officers. Especially, I could share this on Thursday, I think, Thursday, along Millennium Park there in the Federal Capital Territory. I saw a police inspector. He's an inspector in one of their hillocks, I think Wuse Division hillocks. Fair inspector like that is chubby. They know him. If they are listening to me, they should know him. He was just harassing people unnecessarily. That should not park by the roadside. There are other vehicles parked there, but you said other people should not come and park. Why? Where were you when those people came and parked? And there was no sign of people not to park there. Even if you want to tell people not to park, good day, sir. Please, can you keep moving? This side, this place is restricted. No Please parking. Keep moving. We are trying to control crowd here. As simple as that. He was just shouting on top of it. He was harassing people unnecessarily. There should be some level of trust. There is no way you come and start harassing people like that and you expect them to have a good relationship with you. Of course, it's not possible.
You know, this thing you just stated is a very important thing. I think it's one thing for the police force to actually check the way the police speak to people. Yes, you have a place. There's a job you have. Your job description demands a certain level of authority, right? But you shouldn't be rude. You shouldn't be disrespectful. That doesn't come in your job description as well. You shouldn't be disrespectful to individuals. The other day, I passed a traffic light and it was green. This junction, Ritalori area here, it moves from green to red. There's no yellow.
Okay.
There's no yellow. Sometimes it just turns red and then you have to stop sometimes. So it was green and then immediately I passed, it turned red. And the man stopped me on the road. He just jumped into the road. Whoa. I'm like, so if I hit you now, it's the news will not be OAP, Abuja OAP runs down a policeman. That's what the news would carry. And it doesn't make any sense. When this guy finally, I stopped the car, he came to my window, put his hand through the window of the car and tried to open my door.
Oh my goodness.
Through the window of my car. And I was like, it's only a thief that does this.
Highest level of unprofessionalism.
It's only a thief. That's what I told him. I said, sir, with all due respect, you are either a thief. Because that's what my parents taught me, that it's only a thief that will enter a house through the window. if a normal person will knock the door and you will receive permission from the owners of that house before you can walk in. Even as a police officer, the owner of the car, has every right to give you permission first before you get into their car. That's what it is. So what I've noticed, especially within the police force, is the way and manner they talk to Nigerians. It's like we're bloody civilians. Una no respects anything. Una no send anybody. That's basically how some of the police, policemen and women do. So I think that when it comes to this award that the acting IGP has, stated, it's actually a good thing to let police force members know that we need to do more.
Yeah.
We need to do more in ensuring that you have a very good communication with
the IGP
the people around you.
Really has a lot on his table to take care of, especially when it comes to relationship with police.
All right. Good morning, Mr. Rufai.
Hi, morning. How are you?
Well, fine. Thank you so much. How was your weekend?
It's all right. A couple of people celebrating. Happy birthday. Two friends of mine. One turned 63. The other one turned 1 year old. 1 year old. Yeah. 1 year old.
Okay. I thought I didn't get you well at the initial stage.
So it was my guy's birthday over the week.
Even the 1 year old is your guy.
My very good guy. Very good. Yeah.
Like guyest guy.
My very good guy. I don't know him.
Okay.
Then the other 63-year-old is my other very good guy. Very good friend. Yeah.
Congratulations to them.
That's you, yeah. Great.
All right, we have a couple of headlines this morning. We're looking at the acting IG, Egbetsoku, trying to revive police awards for outstanding cops. Personally, I think that is a good thing to create healthy competition within the MPF. But what do you think about this?
No, I think it's a good thing. I think it's a morale booster. And I've always advocated for the police. I mean, anything to boost their morale, anything to help the police stand on its feet, increase pay for them, boost morale because they do a yeoman's job. And for so many years, I've been in the part vanguard of rewarding police officers. So I used to do something with Crime Writers Association of Nigeria, CRAN, then, and we used to give awards, monetary awards to police officers that lost their life in the part of duty. I had the chance to interact with a lot of their family members, and I see anything to improve them. But I hope their bosses will also do the same and stop cutting out of their salaries in any levies and stuff, and just help the police officers stay strong and do well for their country. So I'm all for that. I'm all for that. But also, in return, the police should cease from bad habits. And any one of them found wanting should be severely dealt with. I mean, look at the video that is circulating about a police officer running over somebody with a car. That is abhorrent. That is sad. That is something that can look akin to something somebody does from the pit of hell. I don't see why that police officer should not be charged for attempted murder. And if he's found guilty, let the full law take its course. And the man that was involved, I don't know the state of health of the man. I've been hearing conflicting stories. Please, people should file on behalf of that man and his family and charge that police officer to court. They must be taken to court, no matter how long the case goes. Human rights lawyers should please come out there. We can't have a society where people become so very, 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 very insolent. We can't have that. It is wrong. That's attempted murder. I don't see why people like that even should be charged for murder.
Okay, another story that we have here is a developing story, quite rightly, because we've talked about this issue before now. We're talking about the Trademore estate in Abuja that was flooded.
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes,
I said this story is a developing story because we've talked about it on this platform 2 weeks ago. That has to do with Trademore Estate in Abuja that was flooded about 2 weeks ago. And the update now is that the president of the Resident Association, Adewale Adenaike, said that they have reliable information that the government are planning to come do a demolition today, Monday, they want to demolish 2,000 buildings there, which will in turn render about 40,000 residents homeless. But the shocking part of it is that some of the revelations this man made was that years ago, a section of the estate was commissioned by the former vice president, Namadi Sambo, and other high-ranking officers are staying in that particular estate. And now that FCDA has termed the estate as a disaster zone, what do you make of this situation? Because they have followed all the due process in terms of building, and he said 99% of houses in that area are financed by Federal Mortgage Bank, which is owned by federal government, and the payments are ongoing. So what do you think the government should do in this situation? Because these people cannot be rendered homeless overnight.
No, you see, they can't be rendered homeless overnight, which is very sad and shocking. And that's why the government should look into it. The people, too, should not rest on their oars. If they could get a court order to stop that, they should, while they look at the matters. But really, the question is, what were the projections as regards flooding and environmental balance before they are permitted to build there?
That is it.
Before did not respect those laws. So what was the ecological and environmental balance and the topographical outlay in the plan of that estate? So until they're able to sort that out, and which they should still call process for, I think they should be held to a restraining order on that. Because with hardship, you can't afford to render people homeless.
I mean,
but also I understand what has to be followed. So was it that the former government broke the law before they started building there and financed most of this home by finance mortgage? I mean, these are the questions we need to ask ourselves.
But Rufai, aren't there other means than demolition,
salvage the situation?
Properties? We can create dams. Can't we find ways to redirect the waterways to somewhere else rather than rendering 40,000 people homeless?
That's what I say. Explore every possible avenue. I don't believe in going to just demolish people's homes. Because if the government did not understand the fact that this was going to happen before and they didn't take surface, why will you blame it on the people? So the government should bear the fact for its own misdemeanors. And you can't put that on the people. You can't render 40,000 people homeless just like that.
All right.
So that's what we looked into in detail before a veritable solution is reached. And when a veritable solution is reached, people can then now start to optimize and scale from there. But I don't subscribe to the demolition of homes.
Okay.
If there's a way to redirect the water and build the infrastructure that will redirect the water, let them do it. I don't believe in just demolitions of homes and things like that. You don't do that. You don't make life more difficult for people in the bid of trying to solve their problem. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. And those that are saying demolish, didn't they see before this when it was built in the first place? So these are the questions we should start asking. And let's not deceive ourselves. We deceive ourselves too much in this country. When we don't do things right, we try to blame a lot of people. We can't just turn Abuja to Kano overnight. Where people demolish almost everything. And we drop the ball so much. I remember when Rufai just came that time then in Abuja, that's how I demolished almost everything. So who made the approvals in the first place? Said they were going back to the Abuja, but who made the approvals?
And people were not held. People were not held accountable.
Yeah, so let's be realistic. The problem we have in this country, we're not always realistic.
I think a lot of people are just let to go with whatever they do scot-free. That is one of the reasons that we are finding ourselves in this kind of situation. If not, as a government official, you have to do your responsibility. If you don't do that, there are repercussions to every action or inaction of you in a particular office.
But everybody, when when people are in government, they keep saying what's in it for me, and they do all sorts and all of that. So that's why we don't do what is right, what is just. That's why we need to. You see, it's a cultural change that will change Nigeria. It's not only the government. Because the people too are complicit. People are complicit. People demand all sorts from you once you get into government. And we put pressure on people, and we are the ones to accuse these people. They don't. That's why you as a leader, you must stand tall. I keep telling people, anytime I get a chance to talk to leaders, I keep telling them about one of my favorite Irish poets from Brendan Connolly. Poems from Brendan Connolly. Brendan Connolly said, in one of the lines of his poem, said, if you want to serve your age, you must learn to betray it. So if you want to truly serve your age, you must learn to betray it. You must learn to say no to a lot of people.
Yeah.
I tell people, one of the things that have made me stand tall is how easily I can say no to things. I learned that many years ago. Just say no. Yeah, no, they will not everybody is not meant to like you. You are not for everybody. Can't be for everybody. There are over 7 billion people on planet Earth. So if 1,000 of those people or 1 million of those people don't like you, it's not the end of the world.
It is not.
But the most important thing is, do you stand tall for your convictions? And are your convictions tested and trusted that they are in consonance with 1, the injunctions of God, 2, fairness and morality, 3, respect? Once you can pass that test, it's not about who doesn't like you. And that's why sometimes I don't care. People orchestrate all sorts of things. I remember during the election, a particular national newspaper kept on writing articles to attack me every time. I looked at them and I laughed, because see, I'm still standing today, still making impacts. That's just it. So it is not by human beings trying to spoil you and bring you down that will bring you down. God put you on here for a reason. And as long as God's assignment is not done in your life, nobody can pull you out.
Yeah, certainly.
So, and leaders must understand this. They must learn to stand true and stand to the word. Because in the process of trying to favor, no. You should be able to learn to push back and say, yes, I might be president, but I can't give you land there. It's against government. I don't have land to give you. Be careful when people start to lobby you for everything and all of that. If you say yes to everybody, before you will not know when you say yes to your own death.
All right. Rufai, we're moving on to the Nigeria Labour Congress, and they're setting to engage President Bola Tinubu on the agitation for the extension of civil servants' retirement age to 65. First of all, are you in support of increasing the retirement age from 60 to 65?
This thing is a big debacle everywhere in the world. Recently they had a big fallout in France as regards retirement age. But the truth is, when you also look at the fact that the question is, who get productive, which in modern science, people get productive till the age of 65, 70. And even when these people even leave the civil service, they still want to find things doing. But it's something that the unions and the government will have to meet halfway and all of that. And also, but what is most important is the condition of work and the condition of living. So would you want to work longer in Nigeria where the condition of work is poor in the first place? So there are some questions the government needs to answer. You need to answer a question about the condition of work. It's very terrible working in Nigeria. That's why productivity is low. No, next to nothing on workers' welfare and workers' rights. So there are many problems. And I think those are the things the Labour will iron out with them. But don't forget that France just came out of that big debacle that Macron had to go and force the hand of the parliament to pass the law and all of that. But you can't compare the condition of work in France to Nigeria.
All
right, let's take a look at this report here. That's quite it's making me to smile as I want to ask you this question. It says 2023 polls, Tinubu rejects EU report, says election credible. He said, we strongly reject in its entirety any notion or an idea from any organization, group, and individuals remotely suggesting that the 2023 election was fraudulent. The statement said that is President Tinubu has rejected the report of the European Union Election Observation Mission EOM, describing it as a product of a poorly dawn desk job. President Bola Tinubu has rejected the report, and now Nigerians are reacting. Because some of what they said that EU did not.
Hang on a minute. Okay. Hang on a minute. Can you read the full statement?
Okay. President Bola Tinubu has rejected the report of the European Union Election Observation Mission, describing it as a product of a poorly done desk job. He said the EU did not provide any substantial evidence viable enough to question the integrity of the 2023 elections outcome. Presidential spokesperson Dele Alake stated this position in a statement on Sunday. He said that, we already know that Nigeria held election in February and March. Supplementary elections were also held in April. So basically, the report on the poll last Tuesday said, though the election showed the commitment of Nigerians to democracy, it also exposed enduring systemic weaknesses and therefore signaled a need for a further legal and operational reforms to enhance transparency, inclusiveness, and accountability.
Okay. Let me tell you this, pure and simple. I'm a very objective man. I 100% support the EU report. The EU report was correct. The statement by the presidential spokesman was not substantial. Because if you want to challenge a report, you challenge the empiricals. You just said they didn't have enough research. But I'm sure the presidential spokesman failed to realize that our national shame is already there in public there. What happened in Obiakpo? That even the BBC did a report showing us how Obiakpo result was manipulated. Till today, anytime you ask INEC what considered the technical glitch, they can't talk. With the killings and the shenanigans that happened in Lagos and other parts, the EU report was right. And please, when you are listening to my analysis this morning, listen empirically. All the things I'm telling you about Obiakpo and what happened in Lagos and other parts, are they not true? Go and fact check me. It's not by just a presidential spokesperson reacting. What do you expect him to say? He will never accept the report before. But the evidence are glaring about the shenanigan that happened. Till date, INEC cannot tell us if a technical glitch happens. The first thing you issue as an institution is a report on the causative agent of the technical glitch. Till today, INEC has not been able to release a report on the causative agent of the technical glitch. So there are facts on ground that the election was below par. And the truth is that's why it's being challenged. President Jonathan didn't bother to challenge the 2015 election. Jega became a hero afterwards. The EU report totally and it's not only the EU report, even the Americans wrote a report like the EU report. Go and read the first week after the elections. What did the Financial Times call elections? Nigerian sham elections. So all the international bodies spoke ill of the elections. Except we want to deceive ourselves and act like they didn't. We know what happened. A lot of people feel disgruntled. But you see, I keep telling people in this world that if you want to heal a country, you must start by being conciliatory. After 2007 elections, a lot of Nigerians felt disgruntled. The case went to court. But God bless his soul, Umar Musa Aradua started by saying that the elections that brought me in were fraught with rebels. That word alone calmed down the despite the fact that when that case went to Supreme Court, Yaradua, the election was almost upturned. A lot of people do not know that Supreme Court voted 4-3. It was just one vote that upheld the Yaradua election. And when that man saw that, that man said, I know the election that brought me in was fraught with irregularities, but I want to uphold the Nigeria election system. And he instituted the Justice Ways panel report on electoral reforms, which today follow all templates will have better elections. But the problem is not every Nigerian politician wants to be like a Yaradua, the honorable man. And that's why we have the problems we have today. Even people everybody saw what happened there. The beating, the hurting people, manipulation here and there. But we should be careful. Because if we want to build a country, we must build it in truth and integrity.
Yeah.
Our national anthem is to build a nation where peace and justice shall reign. And I pray that those that don't want peace and justice in Nigeria, I pray they should have a change of hearts.
Amen. And talking about peace and justice, we have this headline quickly. I don't know if you can just talk about it in a few minutes. 50 feared killed in Taraba communal clash. Governor imposes curfew. There was a communal clash in a local government, that is Karim Lamido local government area in Taraba State, where about 50 people were feared dead. Although the police spokesperson of the command, Usman Abdullahi, said the crisis started about 3 a.m. on Saturday, adding that the exact casualty figure had yet to be ascertained. But I don't know how to even to project this situation. We have an issue of communal clashes in Nigeria. We are all Nigerians. We believe, how do we tackle this situation? Because it's uncalled for.
If you have justice, you will have peace. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that answer, and I hope we get the justice and we should have the peace. Absolutely.
That's the problem. If you have justice, you will have peace. Where peace and justice shall reign. There can be peace where you don't have justice. Let's do well to one another. And God will bless us and bless Nigeria. God bless Abuja.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rufai, for having a conversation with us this morning. We'll try to get you tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, bless you. Bye.
All right, that was our guest Rufai Hussaini, who has given some more perspective to the headlines we have for you this morning. We have a little less than 2 minutes. Let's see if we can muzzle in a call or two. You can reach us via 0700 010 961 961 0700 010-961-961. You could call in to comment in any of the headlines that we have talked about this morning. You can send us a message as well, or call us via the WhatsApp portal. Same number. We are here. Let's see if we can respond to your calls.
But what Mr. Rufai talked about when he talked about justice and peace is one that is very, very needed at this point in time, because we're having a lot of communal clashes here and there, from the north to the south, east, west. There's so many clashes here and there that are totally unnecessary. Trying to solve a situation amicably without letting it escalate to the point where violence has to be the last resort. You must have tried all the reconciliation steps first before you now get to violence. But what we see is it shouldn't even get to violence. What we see is 0 to 100 immediately. From 0, we've entered violence now. So we have to start getting into that reconciliation step, start communicating with each other in a way. Don't forget that communication is a situation where you pass a message. That message is received, 1, it's understood, number 2. Very so if it's not understood, if you're communicating with someone and the person is not understanding what you're saying, then you haven't communicated. So I think at this point in time we should start listening and understanding each other much more than anything else. A lot of people have a lot of things to say, but we need to start listening to each other and understanding what it is that we're saying and seeing how we can, because that's the whole point of love, right? That's the whole point of agape love. It's one instruction given both in Islam, in Christianity. Love your neighbor. Love your neighbor. It's an instruction to love. It's very, very important at this point in time that we love one another. If you love someone, you won't flip them the bird when they are driving on the road. You won't shout and be rude to them. You won't, get your cattle to go eat something that they planted, their farm produce. You wouldn't trample on some of the planted the plants that have the trees or whatever that have been planted. You won't do that. You'll be very, very considerate of your neighbor. So let's try as much as we can to get to that point where we're loving each other. It doesn't mean we have to like you. You can love someone without liking the person. I don't have to like you, but I don't want you to die. I don't want your business to die. It's true. I can love you without liking you. That's what it is. That's the beauty of it all. So let's try as much as we can to revive that spirit of love here in Nigeria, because let's not forget, we are Nigerians. We're human beings first, before you are a northerner, before you are a southerner, before you're Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba, whatever tribe.
So humanity should lead. That is it.
That's it. I think you're welcome to our TED Talk. Thank you so much for listening this morning.
This is Voice of the People, 96.1 FM Abuja. We've come to the end of today's front page review. Do well to stay with us. We have more interesting and educative programs that will come your way. Make it with us and leave your dial locked on 96.1 FM. My name is Ali Udoma.
My name is Gesere. We've got Ibo Amaka coming up next at 8 a.m. Right after that, there's the news beat at 9, and then the business around town continues. Sports beats from immediately after the news bit to 9:30, and then from 9:30 the business around town kicks off up until 10:30. So we've got an amazing show set out for you today. You don't want to switch the station. Don't even think about doing that. All right,
don't move a muscle.
Have a good morning.
This is not just another radio on your dial. This is
Voice of the People, 96.1 FM, Abuja.